The more you chappering me that I'm no good, just the opposite. Vayakutsu. The Yitzhak can't handle that. Vayakutsu can't. What are you doing? You know, I'm busy hating you and chappering you, and you just the opposite. Everything's going wrong. Everything I do is no good, you're telling me. And punkt faked. Adarab, Kasha, Yanu, Isai, as the Mitzrim were torturing the Jews, they multiplied, they spread. Just the opposite. This is the way Yid has to live every single day of his life. It's a war against the Yetzirah that gets your life beat. You go, there's going to be all kinds of Yetzirahs. Once it's this, once it's that, once it's him, once it's that, once it's this guy and that guy and this matzav and that matzav. You are at war. And that's the chiyas of a person. He goes just the opposite. He is not impressed. Don't scare me. What are you trying to do? You're trying to scare me? You're talking to the wall. I do not get scared. I'm an Novhardok. I don't believe in that whole thing. You're not scaring me. Do you know what happened? And you know this, and now that happened, now you're finished. Spileless. I have no patience for that stuff. I came here to have a good time. In Slobodka they said, Ha'adam le'nivra ela l'saneg. And they stopped by a saneg. Of course, Al Hashem. But you have to have that concept. You came here to enjoy life, not to go around. The midas kill you, the kinna, the taiva, the covet. Lack of self-esteem, must. Now, what happened to me yesterday? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Should I go? Should I not go to this event? Now, I was going to give a vad. Maybe I tafka shouldn't go, you know. Should I call it off and make it tonight instead of yesterday? What should I do? Now, I once had an Rebbe. Yeah, give him one phone call and was done. I still have an Rebbe, but wasn't a gay. I couldn't. What should I do? I said I'm going to leave it up to the Yebishter. Now, this is such a peace of mind. Before I turn around, there's a ticket in my mailbox. Boom, a ticket. That's a sign I go. Someone put it, he said, and he got aggressive about it. He wants me to go. So I went. Again, I called, this guy calls me, I'm going, you coming? Yeah, I'm coming with you. Suddenly, I lost my ticket. I'm looking here, looking there. But first I got panic. Ticket. So what? Panic, schmanic. I have to go? I wasn't even sure. I'm not going. I give you 10 more minutes. I don't find it. Calling him up. But go without me. 10 minutes later. I'm not going. And call up. I'm having a bar tonight. You know, I have a guy that last night would have been the bar. So that's fine with me. Delicious. Good stuff. So, bring in Yeshuas. Now, what happened? Before I turn around, so a guy who's visiting me, Mendel, you going? No, lost the ticket. I'll get you another one. No. In 5 minutes, I got a better ticket. Now you're going to sit up front. Now you're going to boom, 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 boom. All right, I'm going. That guy's gone already. I told him to call it off. But someone else offered to take me. Let me call him up. You want to come? It takes him 20 minutes from his house to me. He was here in 2 minutes. And the rest is history. I went. I go. I come there. Listen to this. Listen to this. I come in there with my ticket. Here's my ticket. As soon as I come in there, there were 3 chevra that got, oh, you go that way to the left. You sure? Yeah. And another guy, oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, let me see that ticket. Oh, that's one of those. Yes, you must go to the left. Go straight downstairs to the left. And another guy goes, oh, yeah, to the left. I come to the left. As soon as it comes, the man standing there over there, takes a look together. You got the wrong place. Got the wrong place? No. Where should I go? Go straight back where you came from. That's the place you're supposed to be going. Go straight back where I came from. And I asked the person standing over there, is this telling me here? No. You got it all off. This is a true story. No, you got it all off. You got to go up the escalator that way, our third place. I promise you it's a true story. I go, okay, we're going to the elevator. I had a gabbai with me. That was great. Make it easier. Go towards the elevator, the escalator. There, you see what? No, to the left. Yeah, to the left. Now you got it. Good. Now, the other way is not good. Now I went to the left, and I went all the way to the extreme. Yeah, there's standing somebody over there. Okay, I'm ready to go. To look at it. Sorry, you got the wrong place. I promise you, it's a true story. Sorry, nothing home. Nothing doing. What do I do now? I needed to come here to get Meshiga. I could do that in Liquid. There's enough things that make you have to come here. I promise you that I wasn't finished at all. And they sent me to a 5th place. It wasn't. Finally, I decided, I see a couple of empty seats. Let's go. I took my gabbai. We were going to sit separate. He had his seat. Let's go. We're sitting together. A whole bunch of seats. Sat down, Grada. The guy sitting next to me was writing a book on Rav Chaim Kanevsky, and he needs me. Oh, you're the Mendel. Let me have your number. I'm calling you up for the book. I need you. Put the guy to my right side. By the way, it was a big mistake. And they gave me a chashava. The second ticket I got. By the way, this morning I found the first ticket. It was in my pocket. I checked it 10 times. I hold the malach, took it out, took it in. Makes no sense. That's the first. I kept checking again. All the pockets. There's nobody home. So now it's there. Okay. Now, but kids, now they tell me like this. They said you're getting a better seat. Now you're going to be aisle 3. Aisle 3, the 3rd row, number 1. It sounds good to me. The while I'm sitting in Yehuppets, and a guy who looked at it said, that's not a chashava ticket. That's like anyone else. But then I found out where are all the chshuvim? No one saw them. The chshuvim were all down under. Now, one of them could be seen. When you want to give someone covered, put them high. Here, they're all low. So the Avish to help me, because he knows I'm a pathetic of covered. And I gotta get. So he says, Avish knew that where the covered is, there's no covered. They're all sitting looking at each other. There's nobody here. I got to Deis and there's no one sees them. Now this is half of a fella, this story. Suddenly, I spot my Rebbe. I'm a Talmud Muvik of Rabbi Feldman. He's my Rebbe. So they're showing the things. You couldn't see anybody. Or Amalkir was talking, a little, I noticed him, the Hashgacha Pratius. The clock stopped. The whole thing stopped. I knew why I came. My Rebbe, he lives in Baltimore. I don't see him. I went berserk. Let's go. It was the middle of the speeches. No, I have to see my Rebbe. I started going down this aisle. Suddenly, there's a wall by the aisle. Now, by the way, before I came in, there's a guy standing over there. And they're checking everybody. You have to check them all out. The guy standing, I says, Mister, All these guys are decent. They have nothing to worry about. I'm the only wise guy around here. He was on the floor. But I got to be Mekayim what I said. I wanted to get to my Rebbe. I have to go here. There's a stadium over here, you know, getting dizzy. No, go down that row and this row. And by the way, every time I'm going down a row, it's a prat. Because you're brazen enough not to be afraid of 100 people sitting and you're passing by. Hello, my name is Mendel. I'm passing by. Nice to see you. And Novhardok, they enjoy everything. They don't get, people are looking at me. No, stuff. We're not into that. And so I went down. But now I had to go all the way around to see my Rebbe. And somebody says, so, okay, we're going all the way down. And suddenly there's a bar over there. Any important people listening to this one? Is the state police? Are you listening? I don't want you here. Listen to this one. You know what I did? I'm saying it, but Rambam, I'm not ashamed. Confessing my sins publicly. What did I do? There's a bar over there. Can't go. I have to go all the way around. I says, not me. Give me a hand. I had a whole bunch of gabayim there, my regular gabay. And then a few people knew me, and one strong guy was perfect, but I had 20 hands. Let's go. I give a jump. My gabay jumped after me, and after I did that, a whole bunch of chevra, they picked it up. Hey, you have to walk around like a taita meshuggah to give a thing in there. It's a little tiny fence, a mice, it's a bar. I don't want that to get out to the public. And he got into a lot of trouble. Anyway, listen to this. I'll tell you what I did do in front of my school. I think I mentioned it. In front of my school, when you come here in the morning, you can make an immediate left, and there's do not enter. You go another, won't kill you. I never go that way. I'm decent. The truth is, I am basically decent, but just basic. Basic means normal. But when the world's a little cuckoo, you never hear im ikesh titapol. In Slobodka, they said when Yaakov told us, oh, Lavan's a tricky guy. I know how to do that too. If you get out of hand, this is avodas hazman. Be as crooked as you can. You're dealing with him, that's the way it works. Anyway, I believe in that. One of the things most people I meet are decent. When you have a big yellow bus, and it's almost 9 o'clock, you got to get to school, and normally you make a quick turn, and it's fine. No, the bus stop with about 20 kinderlach, little bubbies, and the mommy's, hi, Babala, and then suddenly, little Chaim Babala forgot his briefcase. Oi! 1 second, bus driver, 1 second. And there's a line as a lang vidagulis waiting for this bus driver because Yankala forgot his briefcase. Oi, Yankala! And she runs to get the briefcase. Yankala ahead. Bye, Yankala. There were 20 cars plotting. And I don't plot. I just make a turn. I say, I'm not going to wait here till these Michigayim get. Then I got another 20 Yankees. That's Yankee Aleph. Then Beryl will also forget his briefcase. I need this. I made a turn where it says do not enter. I went right in there. I came on time to school. And there's Bob, the security guy. Bob says, Rabbi Mendel, how come you went, you passed the do not enter sign? I says, Bob, I didn't know you were looking. He laughed. I says, Bob, let me tell you something. I'm a straight shooter. I don't do this. You know me. Well, when these guys are going wacko, I make a turn. I don't care. Am I right or wrong? You are right, Rabbi Mendel. You have to have a little, Zionish ganze. You're not allowed to stay here for another half hour. I'm not allowed to move, Stay via klutz. Anyway, so, where am I up to? I meet Rabbi Feldman. How do I get to Rabbi Feldman? Jumping over seats inside. In the meantime, I met all my friends, all the Rabbonim. I had a blast. I gave shalom to him. Oh, how are you? They're waving to each other. We had fun. I mean, mostly I'm one of them. I'm not a Rav, but they're my friends. And we had a how you? I made it Lebedik, you know me. When I smiled to everybody, and then there's Rabbi Feldman. What a bracha! And he was just leaving. To see him, it was impossible to see anybody. I told you there was no cover there. Everyone was in the head. But Amashu, I thought I saw him, and I kept asking her, but no, you got to go the other way. I said, don't tell me what to do. I know you guys are ready. No, but I'm sure. I'm also sure. I'm serious. I had another one of those. I'm also sure. Yeah. I'm also sure. I think I saw him here, and I trust me. Sure enough, a minute later, do you see Rabbi Feldman? He's sitting right there. Oi! I went over, Rebbe, I'm here. Oh, I was in Gan Eden. And I was Zoichet to be a Mish. He just then was picking himself up to lead. And I held him by his hand. And we walked all the way down. And I was in a high. To me, it's Gan Eden. I told him up front, Rebbe, I'm a kabel schar, I'll call psia. Now, I want to tell you something. Then we daven Ma'ariv together, and I got a bracha from him. I give brachas to him too. By the way, it's not so pashut giving a bracha to a Rebbe. Do you know that? There's a chazal that doesn't, but I do it. I can't hold myself back. I want him to live long and happy and healthy, so I let him have it. When I do that, was that schus a tzaddik yisei doilim, and we spoke. He told me some. It's not shaykh. I had my yolam haba, and now I know why I came. Now, while I was going through all of this, when we were there for the first 10 minutes, going around, literally, I made 10 hakafis, and each guy knew exactly where I had to go, until a shvatza was standing there, and he says, how do we get to the place? I'll tell you the truth, sir, I'm not really sure. I says, you're the first honest guy I ever met. You're the only guy that makes sense around here. At least you say you don't know. At least now and that's when I decided, let me take my own seat, leave me alone. I can't deal with this. Anyway, but I told my gabbai, we were here 10 minutes. We had tircha all over the place. I was yetzer. We're going back to Liquid. I meant it. Except the last minute, let's sit here and do that. Because every time you go, sometimes I feel, I lost my telephone book. By the way, while I was looking for the ticket, I found my long lost, beyond years telephone book. So it was worth losing the ticket because they'd get me to find the telephone book. I want you to know that these are Yesudim min Hashemayim, and you've got to thank Hashem for all of them. You're going around, anyone else have these type of problems? Where you're going around dizzy and nothing? Oh, here we go. I lost it again. Oh, no. Oh, can't you do anything right? Oh, this happens again. Whenever that stuff happens, it's a tikkun kapara for everything. That's Aleph. And you got to keep saying it your whole life. Yes, you have Yesudim, no Gehenim, no hospitals, no nothing. I lost by this, Baruch Hashem, I lost by that. I had to wait. Other people, I'm misnefesh. I had so much agmas nefesh. I don't believe it. What's agmas nefesh? It's out of my history. Come tzadad. We got a big crowd today. What's agmas nefesh? Anything? I don't believe in it. What does that mean? My Rebbe told me for agmas nefesh, you're going to burn in Gehenna. You got to be Omedim Mecheshben. What happened to Koman Rahman al Tav of it? I don't believe in agmas nefesh. I don't have agmas nefesh. Keep me out of that stuff. I say for agmas nefesh. What agmas nefesh? No hospitals, no Gehennims. This is good stuff. There's a famous story. Shemer Moon tells a story. A man came up to Yenavelt. He said, according to the Yisurim you went through, you should be nucky from Gehenna. That's not easy. But because you never said thank you for my peck, for those Yisurim, you're getting it. Isn't that something? So you got to say it all the time. You got to be happy whenever you get a peckle. And no more complaints. And when things go wrong, it's been a shamayim. What's the difference? You keep your menuchas hanefesh. And then I ended up with the most covered also. Because Me, at least you could see. The whole island, you couldn't see none of them. Not one. They were buried. What are they doing? They're trying to give cover over around here. Seriously. Anyway, I held it was the biggest Indian to go there. Yeshiva, Malkil, they all spoke beautiful. I had about at least 50 people asking me, "You're not speaking? You're not speaking? You're not speaking? You're not speaking? You're not speaking?" So I want to say the following. I got all the cover I want. That's to me better than speaking. They're all expecting me to speak. So now I got the cover. I didn't have to speak either. So I'm doing fine. Maybe she gives me everything. Anyway. I'll tell you, Maisa. This woman. All right. I got better stories. I had someone on the phone today that has a serious, serious disease. Very serious. And they're calling from Israel, so they don't know English. But it's fine. They're not no one knows who they are. A very serious disease, and it gets worse and worse. And I was on that phone, and I brainwashed that party through and through, like Hayud Varamei. And then when I was finished, it's a new world opening up. But their symptoms, say goodbye to the symptoms. Don't give me these symptoms. Symptoms. What symptoms? I had another guy on the phone today. This guy has severe schizophrenia. One of those real, and I keep yelling at him, like, this is going on for weeks. He's improving and improving and improving. Improving. And I gave him a bracha, I want your wife improving. And his wife is a new person. I don't know his wife. I never spoke to her. I just said, if I'm healing, did I take her name? Never. Do I know his name? No, I know his last name. That's as far as I got. When he calls, oh, it's you. And every time he calls, he sounds better. And I told him, he's living with this, he's 43. He's been living with this all his life. And I says, you were misdiagnosed. I do this all the time. I did it on the guy in Israel, the same thing. No. Zet ta'ut. Zet ta'ut. הרופא לא יודע מה שהוא אומר. הוא טיפש. הוא מסכן. תשלח לו רפואה שלמה, רופא. אתה לא בסדר. אני מבקש רופא אחרת. יש לי רב מנדל. רב מנדל הרבה עדיף ממך. Anybody know Hebrew? Anyway, let him have it. Somebody called me the other day. I'm not going to say what the disease was. I want it because they live around about 2 blocks from me. I'm joking. Not that close, but they're in the States. Called me up. A guy called me about Nebuch, a close family member, who had a serious disease. This is what I said. And the party spoke on the phone. And it was a radical turnaround after my bracha, my bracha was a radical turnaround. I can tell you privately what it was. The thing that's sakona, you're finished. And it was a radical turnaround now, but still needs a big refuah. I says, you get any refuah, you're going to be better than before. And I'm not kidding. I mean business. They look at me, this guy sounds like he means it. As soon as you do that, you won. Because most people in this world aren't really sure. Well, and those that are sure, as we have seen, they don't know anything anyway. It's funny. I thought I was powering his pajamas, going around in musical chairs. Anyway, but this guy I spoke on the phone, it was just yesterday. I spoke Yiddish. I says, you're much better, since my brother. And I says, if the doctor dares tell you, I was stark. No! You're better. I said, ich sagen dos idos. I'm serious. I'm not a bluffer around here. You think I'm making games? You're cured. Ich hab gesagt dos idos. Don't give me no mices. Now, if the doctor says anything negative about your situation, go to that doctor. I told him in Yiddish, geh zum Doktor and sag him in my Namen, is a teute Meshugene. In my name. They were on the floor. They loved that. I said, if he says something good, tell him, you're a good doctor. I'm kind. We don't believe in that stuff. First of all, a doctor is a kook. If he tells, you know how many doctors kill people by what they tell them? They should be sued for malpractice. They feel, well, we have to protect ourselves and tell them as it is. Ooh. You know how many times I lied and I said, I want to tell you, I was Menachem Mobile, a friend of mine, years ago. And I remember him saying clearly in front of everybody, well, it all started when he went to the doctor. And the doctor saw this, memela that, memela as nishdu. This is serious, you know, your head has such a power over what's going on. Anyway, so, you know that Aaron HaKohen took the Levim and he picked them up. Before you're going to be a Levi, first we pick you up. The Gadol Hador is picking you up. He's saying, you're Gevaldik. Terufa. Someone says it. I was Mechamed to somebody. And the first Pasha starts, Baha'aloischa, light up. What's his, of course light goes up. Give another knech, not high enough. Then you say, Lomani Gora. You got to complain, weren't we bigger? And when you complain, Loma, weren't we better? Guess what happens to you? You know what you get? You make your own Pasha. You're better than anybody. When you say Lomani Gora. Is that Gavaldik? You said Lomani Gora. Then you blast bugles. You have to be very careful not to be negative. I had another guy call me up. I still didn't get from England. Since your bracha, my son became a chassan. The whole family is going wild. So I'm not impressed. They left a message. Your son, he was 21 when he gave the bracha. A 20-year-old guy bracha. He's 34, like some of my other cases are, but they're giving me credit. But anyway, it is such a pleasure to work in Hashem's world. You have nothing to worry about. You have a Kodesh Baruch Hu. And he pulls you out of the worst situations. He can turn, in one day, he can put you in, he can make such a new world. Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. Always start again. By the way, I don't believe any criticism. I once got a hold of a guy. I was very nasty to him. You know, I do some very not nice things to some people. First of all, I want to tell you straight. I believe in learning. I'm not talking about Musa. Learning. You got to learn. There's no chachmas. Learning's everything. However, there is somebody I know who is a major Talmud Chacham. And when he screams, the whole base medrash knows about it. He is probably the biggest bomb in Gans Lakewood. As I'm sure there's not, maybe there's 5 like him. He's fire, and he knows everything, and he's critical. I go to him for my Bטחון weeklies because if he says it's good, it's good. Because he's the real thing. I love him. I like the guy very much. And he's a big Talmud Chacham. He ran guitar and learning. And one day I walked over to him, and I said, you know, you said learn, I'm very happy. But I tolerate you. It's not bad, you know. But Fashtetzach, I hold Musa's way ahead. It's actually Rachmanis on you, because, all right, you'll learn good. No, have respect. No, I'm not making away. Harving and learning, that's great, but you have to understand that I hold more from Musa. And I made a joke out of his whole, he comes across like the world's at his feet. And I encourage that. I bought my son a Grizz, a Rambam for his bar mitzvah. I want that. I want it for myself. Lick the land. But I kibitzed around with him. And I told him, I tolerate you. Like, I have a different shita. If you don't mind, you're allowed to have another shita in this world. Is that okay? You're not allowed to have another shita? Well, you have to understand that, you ever learn a block Gemara? You ever find that there's different Tanaim, Amoraim? There's only one shita? Well, I happen to have a different job, very tough with him. Nobody does that to him, except for me. I laugh at everybody. I'm not spoiled for me. I love him, but I'm not scared of him. And I told him very stark that, I'm asking you, it's very good, keep it up. Halavai to be more like you. Aber bei mir is mushel le'ikel. I'm sorry. It's a shtickler achmanis on you, but okay, you'll be all right. They will still help you. People are not used to that. A guy that's bombing in base medrash 24/7. He never heard that in his life. He thinks, I'm it. Anyway, I flustered him up. That he never heard. Next time I met him, you got to be careful with people these days. Next time I met him, I went over to him and I meant it. I says, do you know when I see you learning, I have such hana. I says, you're the second guy I told it to. Rather, there's 3 guys I told it to. I feel like that. I see it's kedai to do that. You see a man harboring and learning. Isn't it a pleasure to watch him? You're going to go with kinna? Well, still some kinna. We're all together. Look how he's learning. I did it 3 times already, the 3 guys. The middle guy thanked me like, I thought he didn't speak to people. He saw orangutan learning. He said, Zizkai. He's learning. And I told him, yeah, I love to watch you. Arvin learning. And he told me later, you made my day. He says, I can't thank you. What would I do? Now this guy, he didn't know it hit him either. He looked more flustered than when I put him in his place. Now he really looked like, and this is what he told me. He said, do you know, I didn't realize that I come across. I said, you don't chop, the whole base medrash is green with envy that they can't. In Novhardok, they used to say, oh, the other guy's screaming louder in base medrash. Everyone's jealous of him. That's the normal jealousy. He screams louder in base medrash. For a Ben Torah, that's the issue with most guys. He's bigger than I am. He says he mamish didn't chop. He turned into a piece of butter, by the way. It wasn't the same guy. I never saw him like this in my life. Because I don't think he was used to it. People would never tell him a thing like that. Because there's so much envy going on. They think the guy's, who knows what. So you can't give him a compliment. And he softened like crazy. And then he told me the following. He says, do you know, I never realized that I come across so stark, screaming and learning. I never thought that I come across like that. And I told him, now I'm going to tell you something. When something goes wrong in your life, you sit on it. Not you, everybody. And sit on it. When you're doing something right, the Yetzer Hara doesn't fagin that you should be aware of how great you are. And the Erech Tzadikim says you're going to get 1,000 times more schar. If you had now, I just gave you a present. I gave you a gift. I made you realize how great you are. The way you harv and learning. It's a Kiddush Hashem. You don't even chap. In Slabotka they would say, so then the guy tells me, then the guy says, and by the way, he tells me, and I guess if you appreciate what you're doing, then you get even better. I says, now you sound like a Musanik. I might shmad you one of these days. You sound like you're one of us. There's hope for you. Maybe I have my jokes. Anyway, so that's the Maisa with that. Anyway, so I wanted to tell you like this. Okay, Miriam. So look, Miriam was the biggest, most positive person that ever lived. Miriam was the one that told Amram, Tatala, you're worse than Parai. She put the whole Klal Yisrael back together again. You want to kill the Nekavis, right? With Parai. So because of her, Amram remarried, and the whole Klal Yisrael remarried. They followed Godel Adar, and she was dancing at the Chassan. She says, the Mashiach Yisrael is coming. This is Mashallah. Moshe was born into the river. Everyone gave up except for Miriam. Her father patched her on the head. Miriam, what happened to your nevuah? He's going into the river. And he says, I don't give up. She watched him and she saved him again. No giving up. Twice. Miriam You know what she did to Pari when she was 5 years old? She told Pari, "What a wicked king you are. What a cruel person." Pari wanted to kill her. So Yocheved said, Yocheved, her mother was there. She's a baby. She doesn't know what she's saying. And she looked up, "Mommy, I know what I'm saying." That part I threw in. But this is a chazal. Miriam, she is the mother of Malchus. She is David HaMelchus. And David HaMelch was the one that said, no year. She got it from his bubby, Miriam. And David, ain't called Chizkiah, was going to be dead. The Navi said, "You're dead." And he said, no years. My Zayda said, "No years. I'm going to live." He lived another 15 years. No years. Miriam is the most positive person in the world. She started the Malchus. One other positive. Who's that? Aaron. Aaron? Leiv shesamach b'gdulas achiv. He's so happy. He's such upbeat. He's happy with his younger brother is becoming big. That's a sign of pure positive. He sees only good. Ayin Tov is that Tamim Shel Aaron. Aaron is no, it's Abram. But Aaron, Oyev Shalom. He's positive, oozing with Miriam and Aaron the most. And those two spoke Lashon Hara. It's not so pashut. What kind of Lashon Hara? The Rambam Tainas, it wasn't such a pashut Lashon Hara. The Rambam, you know that. He plays it down a lot. But you see you can be the most positive person in the world. We don't understand Bechal then, but for us, still watch out. You got to keep being positive, because the Yetzer Hara is going to get you. You could be, I have it. I'm super positive. Then one day I can say one word. Watch out. Being negative. You know, it says that Miriam was called, she was called the Cushis. Tzipora was called the Cushis. What's a Cushis? A black. A black is, so Rashi says, it's a way of saying someone that's very beautiful, ugly. My sister had a little girl who was cute like anything. And she said, "Zees ugly. Zees ugly." People say that. They Misha. You ever see these ladies, Hungarian ladies? Bistachazay mis. You ever see the way they talk? "You are so ugly." When a kid's super good looking, say ugly. So Rashi says this about Tzipora, that she's called a black because she was dafka beautiful. So they use that lashon. So I want to say that your whole life, all the charis you have, is nothing more than a lashon saginar. It's called black, but it's just the opposite. You just got to find the right thing. As I haste this, it looks like that. That's what it's garnished. If you find you learn Musa, any situation. You want to start? When do I start? Okay. Any situation that you have. When do I start with the questions? Another 3 minutes. Any situation that you have, you can find the good every matzah. Like I tiny, all those guys that, the matzah is no get the altar in the body. When he missed the train, he said, "I'm the first one here for the next train." You know, he said about your wife, he said, "She's an Eza Kenegdai." He said, "Some people make from an Ezer a Kenegdai." Do you know they do it all over the place? Boy, I know a younger man. Chas v'chalila, I don't know. But it was noticeable a little bit. His wife worshipped him. And he didn't chap. He didn't even see her. "Oh, I didn't notice you." He had a dream where every word he said, she was ready to write it down. So it's not a terrible thing. I think it is a terrible thing not to appreciate what you have. But this wife, he didn't appreciate it. You know, Reb Oizer told me we're all mosaic not to appreciate our wives. Nobody really does. The wives deserve much more. Reb Shmuel Salan said, I heard this from Baron Feldman yesterday. Shmuel Salan said like this: the truth is, who's the one that's getting Olam Ha? Who's the one? The ladies, the man learns, and the lady helps. The man, when he comes to the next world, they say, all those coffee breaks, remember? It's a baloney. Segonish, you're learning Shvachamaisis. So you expect a nice Gehenna, bittel Torah all over the Shmuel Salan. Got a bottle and you're busy with the breaks, and nacha break. Forget all the bittel Torah, you're dead. Then they take a look at the ladies. And they say, lady, what do you say yourself? Me? I knew he was taking coffee breaks. I was supporting him. I was helping him. I wanted him to learn. Oh, you're going to Gan Eden. He's going to Gehenna, and you're going to Gan Eden. Shmuel Salam. But the lady says, wait a minute. You want me to go to Gan Eden without a husband? You got a point. Oh, we'll let him up. So Shmuel Salam said, thanks to the ladies. Thanks to the ladies. Is that a good one? Here's Rabbi Palm said, thanks to the ladies. This is for your wife. Tell it to your wives. I have different things to tell the men. It's not so pashut. I hope that, Rabbi Shimon Chai was once in the next world, and he saw, it's a Zoya something, he saw the neshamas of some of them were bright and some were dull. And he asked, what's that? What's that? They said, the dull ones are the ladies and the bright ones are the men, because they learn Torah. So that they're shining from the light. You know what did it tell you? That light. Yor Hashem panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yor means light up, right? Yor Hashem. Zok the Sifri. Yor Hashem means Torah. Torah means light. You know why? You say Yotzar Ma'aris together with Abba Rabba. What is the kesha? The simple daylight is a siman of Torah. Light means Torah. So first you thank for light, and right afterwards Abba Rabba Torah. Torah and light is the same thing.